New details on COD 2020 reportedly leaked. Modes, features, and more. Here are a couple of key takeaways, and we're going to hit each of these because I'm very excited to share all of this with you. Number one, 2020 game is in fact set during the Cold War era. Okay, that's fine. We're not actually hitting that. The game is, quote, actually in a good state with, quote, multiplayer maps almost done. Very interesting. Campaign is fully playable, but not all animations are complete yet. This is what I want to talk about first. He says there will be a new map for Warzone with the 2020 game and says he has seen an overview of the new Warzone map. Now, Lokap, I don't know if you've been following along with the Dropshot of Call of Duty podcast, but we've been getting conflicting reports. One thing is said Blackout's coming back. Another thing is that Warzone is going to continue past this year into the next game. Given that there's going to be a new map, do you think it will take place on the existing application that is on your hard drive right now? So you launch Modern Warfare 2019 and then go into Warzone? Do you think that's going to continue to be the case for this new map, for this new game? Or do you think it's going to be an entirely separate executable file, if that makes sense?
I think it'd be separate because it's going to be a whole new map, and you skipped over the Cold War era, but that means it's completely different guns. Gunplay is going to be completely different. It's like a whole new game. They might as well call it Blackout 2. I can't even, like, what mechanic would transfer over from Warzone?
That's such a good point. That's actually like, such a good point.
It's so weird. It's just going to be a brand new game.
That is such a good point. Yeah, this is what has been pissing me off about all of these leaks, is that we went over this on the podcast. There was this interview with some developers from Call of Duty. I don't remember exactly in what way they were associated, that were saying that they want to continue supporting Warzone in the future. So maybe the best theory is in fact that they're going to continue to support Warzone, but they're also going to release a new BR alongside it, and they're going to support both. Does that make sense?
I think it's a bad business decision.
I do too. I do too.
The only thing
exactly.
I think of is
exactly.
Like maybe they do it like PUBG has multiple maps, so maybe they launch it within the Warzone client and it's a separate queue. Like you can choose one map over the other. But that also just be a little weird. Why not just Blackout 2?
I agree. Yeah. So interesting, dude. So interesting. Yeah, I don't know. But you're so right about, of course it's not going to be the same engine. I don't know, dude. It's interesting. This leaves me more questions than answers.
It's going to be completely different. New perks, different balance perks, guns, attachments. It's going to be a brand new game.
Yeah. So I feel like it wouldn't make sense to stay on this executable. So I guess the only thing we could think is that they're going to continue supporting Warzone like they just said. And they're going to release a new BR alongside it, which, like you said, is the worst business decision ever.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah, because they said it's a new map with new locations, which is, I mean, how long do Call of Duty last? A year? And then everyone's on the new one?
Yeah.
No one's going to care about Warzone when they got Blackout 2, essentially, you know?
True. Exactly. No one's going to fucking care. No one's going to care.
It's such a bizarre decision.
Really dumb, but interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so next up here, standard minimap is back, similar to previous Call of Duty games prior to Modern Warfare. Now, before I address this, Lokap, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's good. Maybe I'll actually use it now. I'll look up in the top left.
Did you care that it got reverted for this game?
I don't play too much multiplayer, so it's not like a massive thing to me. I noticed it, and I wasn't a fan. Okay. But I wasn't super upset.
Okay. This is the one thing that got me so fucking excited when I was watching XclusiveAce's video. Because this is one of those things that I talked about where when we were prognosticating about COD 2020 and how they might not bring the minimap back, this is evidence to the contrary. And if they do bring back the standard fucking minimap, that introduces a whole new level, a whole new layer of complexity and skill, and it again increases the skill gap. And that is fucking fantastic. Fantastic, dude. I'm really happy to see this. And I think it is, I'm so thrilled about it. It just can't be overstated how excited I am about the standard minimap coming back. When this game first launched, this was my biggest single problem with the entire game. In fact, if you go to my YouTube channel, which I've conveniently linked for you in the chat, you can find a beta review series on Modern Warfare. And the worst thing at the very end of the last video in that series, the one thing that I hate the most is the minimap. So I'm really glad to see it coming back. But the next note is kind of interesting and weird to me.
Well, hold on.
Go ahead.
I think it's a big deal for multiplayer, but I wonder what that means for their BR as well. Because other BRs, if you shoot, you don't appear on the minimap. But on these games, you do.
Interesting.
So I have no idea how they're going to implement that into a BR.
If it worked exactly the same as multiplayer in a BR, where you show up unless you have a silencer, how would you feel about that?
I think it'd be a little too strong. It just enforces suppressors.
But what if there's no create a class?
Then it's fine. If there's no loadout system, then sure. It'll be just action-packed, fast-paced.
I think it depends exactly. I think I actually like that if there's no create a class, and I don't like it if there is a create a class. Because if there is a create a class, and you can make yourself not appear on the minimap if you just throw on an attachment, then like you said, you're basically just forcing everyone to use a silencer. Which is annoying, because it's just less choice.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if people don't have that option, then everyone appearing on the map means more gunfights, which is exactly what I want.
It means more fast-paced gameplay.
Exactly. So that's interesting. That's good to know. Okay, good points. Good points there. Good points. Even with the standard minimap back, there's also a compass. Okay. Anything on this, Lokap?
Oh, I mean, there's always compasses in every BR. I mean, does that mean in multiplayer as well? Which I feel like is
I think it does. Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of irrelevant, honestly. The maps are going to be probably pretty small.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, nice quality of life, I guess, if you like that.
Yeah. So I think you're right. I didn't think about this. For the BR, I think it's very good to have a compass. For multiplayer, if the standard minimap works, don't give me a compass. It's too much clutter. I don't need it. I never look at the compass anyway now in multiplayer, and it does kind of serve a purpose sometimes. I still choose not to look at it. There's too much going on. So don't have it in multiplayer, and it is totally superfluous if the standard minimap is back for multiplayer, because the compass will do literally nothing that the minimap won't do for multiplayer. But for Warzone, I think it's very good. But even if there is a compass and it's superfluous, not the end of the world. I just prefer it not be there. What else do we have here? Swimming mechanic returns. And there will be water in multiplayer maps alongside water in the new Warzone map. Lokap, your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a weird one, because it all depends on how it's implemented. Because I assume in multiplayer it'll be like Black Ops 4, where I forgot what map it was like
jungle flooded.
That ice with
icebreaker.
Yeah, right. And it's like there's that little area we can swim under the ship or whatever, and that's fine. It was fairly balanced. But in BRs, it matters so much. Like, can you shoot through the water? Can you shoot out of it? How fast can you swim through it?
So
all these things matter.
They all do matter. I'm going to give you my assumptions on how the water will function, and then I want your opinion. So in Black Ops 4, the way the water worked was you could shoot while you're in the water. You could ADS while you're in the water. You could reload while you're in the water. But obviously you can't sprint. You can't strafe while you're ADS'd. You can swim underwater, but you will start to drown. You stay under for too long, so you'll slowly take health, like being in gas. But the main disadvantage is you just move really fucking slowly. And obviously you can't crouch or prone. So if it functions that way, how would you feel about water in the battle royale?
If you can shoot out of it, it also depends on how clear the water is and whether you can see into it, the visibility.
Right. Yeah.
As long as there's
true.
no advantage to being in water, okay, fine.
Interesting. My intuition on that is actually different. Based on the fact that you can't sprint or take cover in water, those are already massive disadvantages.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, being in water is a disadvantage.
So why would you be opposed to there being some advantage, such as you're maybe more difficult to see? You know what? I don't like that either.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like that either, dude. You're just underwater, no one sees you, and you just get fucking fragged. Yeah, true. My opinion on this is water does not belong in first-person shooter games, period. Like Lokap said, like Icebreaker is a great map. I guess in Icebreaker, I kind of like the water because
it's not bad.
It allows for a convenient flank route, but you have to take the very big risk of going in water to get that flank off. The fuck? Fireworks.
And again, the implications for the BR is I read a leak that said there's going to be a big lake, and I assume there's going to be land or little islands within the lake. So if the circle ends there on that island, and you have to swim through water to reach there, I mean, I guess it's just fuck me. I guess I die. I just swim and die.
Right. And that is not great, obviously.
No, yeah, that's extremely annoying.
So I don't like. So water on a multiplayer map can be fine. I even think it can be kind of good. If you do jungle flooded ever again, I'm going to kill myself in game, of course, by drowning myself in game and enjoying it in game because I'll want my life to end in game. But if you do it tastefully, like Icebreaker, that's fine. Water in a BR ever is bad. And the reason for that is that the where the circle ends is random. So sometimes the water, the whole fucking dumb lake that they put in this shit game,
imagine it ends in the water,
will be the entirety of the last circle. The entirety. That'll happen many times a day to many poor innocent people, and that is not fun or exciting.
Imagine if they had like boats, and you're just going around just shooting people in the water, literal fish in a barrel.
Yes.
God, dude.
Exactly. That sounds fun if you're in the boat, but not a good game experience. Not a good game experience. Yeah. True. Interesting. True. So obviously, there's a swimming mechanic as well. Unlimited sprint is back. There's still unlimited sprint in this game. I think this means that there's no tack sprint. So in this game, you can double tap and you can do your like super sprint.
You're always at max,
Yeah, no more of that. You're always just doing the regular sprint. That's fine. I like the tack sprint idea, actually, to be honest. I think that's one of the cool features of Modern Warfare. I'm a little sad to see it not returning, but it's also the smallest deal ever. Like, I'm fine without it. I think it's better to have than not have, but I don't think it's even close to necessary to have. And it's going to have very little impact on my enjoyment of the game. This one's interesting. No interact doors in regular. However, it will stay in Warzone. So interact doors means you can open and close doors and peek them like you can in Modern Warfare. Those are not going to exist in multiplayer in COD 2020, but they will exist in Warzone. Lokap, your thoughts?
I actually do like that mechanic. I just don't enjoy that there are 60,000 doors throughout the map. It just depends on what the map looks like.
Interesting. Very interesting. I think we're both in the minority here. Everyone I ever hear fucking hates doors in this game. And I don't really get why exactly.
Because it helps campers.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does.
You can sit in a building, close the door, and don't loot any of the chests.
And you go behind the hinge.
And if you're, let's say there's a guy camping there, you close all the doors, didn't loot anything, and you're walking by, if you hear, oh, this building's clear, nobody looted it. Well, no, there's a guy camping in there and shits on you because he closed the doors.
Yeah. 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 True. And you can stand behind the hinge of the door. That's the worst part.
That too, yeah.
Like if the door is like close to the corner of a room. So let's say this is the room, right? And the door is right here and it swings open like fucking this way. So the hinge is here. You can just camp here. Or no. Yeah, it opens here, so it swings this way. So the hinge is here. You can camp in this corner, and then when they open the door, you're in the corner and the door is like covering you, you know? And then they can just keep running past the door and you just fuck their ass. That's very annoying, for sure. So
it is, yeah.
With that said, I do like it because it gives you a lot of information and there's some counterplay. Like even if you're not camping that hard, you can go into a building and loot the fuck out of it and then just bounce. And then when someone else comes, they're going to see, oh, all the doors are blown the fuck open. So someone was here. That's cool information to have. And also, you can go in the building, close the door, and then people will think, oh, there's no one here. And then they run past you, but you were one shot anyway and you didn't want to die. And so you used your big brain and outplayed them. I think...
Or yeah, even if you getting shot from afar, you're running a building, close the doors.
Yeah, for cover.
Now you know if somebody busts in, if they're pushing you, you know.
Yeah.
And from where? Because they bust open a door.
Yeah, you hear it. Yeah. So I actually do like the door mechanic. I'm surprised you do too, but we are definitely, by the way, in the very small minority here. I think...
I like it. I think it's because most BRs have interactable doors.
Do they really?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, Lokap plays a lot of BRs, by the way. I don't. This is my first one, really. So, interesting. Yeah, I think that's a good change, though. I think taking them out of multiplayer is good, too, because...
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
We don't need campers in multiplayer.
Yeah,
fuck your doors.
You want that to be fast-paced.
And you don't want the information. Like...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You know, like you don't need to know whether someone's been in a building or not in multiplayer because everyone's already been in there and they're going to continue to go in there.
It doesn't even matter. If it's closed, you're just going to burst through it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, agreed on that.
But this is one of those small things like a limited sprint where it's a small thing that helps fast-paced gameplay.
Yeah. True. Jobless TV with the Severino. Let's fucking go. Welcome, young boy, to this small but vibrant and extremely humble community, sir. It's an honor and a privilege, of course, to have you here at the tail end of this episode of the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast. I appreciate it, dude. Sorry, shit, I misclicked, he said. Well, get scammed, bitch, because you're not getting a refund. He meant to report. I didn't show my nipples yet, did I?
No.
Don't report me.
You stood sideways, I guess.
True. This is possible. Yeah, this is a loose fitting tank, so I'm playing fast and loose with the rules here. So I just joined the fucking Discord. Hell yeah, 12th man. Welcome, dude. Welcome. All right, what else do we have here? Let's see.
Multiplayer maps.
10 multiplayer maps are apparently developed so far. More probably in the works. Treyarch style maps is what this says. One map is very small and a boat on the Black Sea. So that reminds me of Lokap. One answer is the correct answer.
I don't remember the name of that map.
What is a small map that is on a boat in a Black Ops game called?
I don't remember the name of that map.
You discussed me. Hijacked is the name of the map.
Okay. Yeah.
So it gives me Hijacked vibes. And if any of you have played BO2, great map.
I do like that map, yeah.
Great map. So that's interesting. And then another one is called Tank, which is the map that was shown in the leaked gameplay trailer earlier. I don't think we ever showed that on the pod. I'm not sure if it's still available, but it was terrible footage. It was like a cell phone recording of a cell phone recording. So it's almost not worth seeing. But that's the name of another map. So now, when I hear Treyarch style maps, I don't think Lokap's going to really know what that means. But as far as I'm concerned, what that means is great maps, great style maps, 3-lane style maps. If I went through my top 10 Call of Duty maps of all time, probably 8 of them would be Treyarch maps. They have a lot of 3-lane maps, a lot of absolute bangers. All the classics you know and love are Treyarch maps. We're talking Standoff, Raid, Nuketown, Firing Range. These are all Treyarch maps. Absolute banger maps. So this is very good if they're Treyarch style, which makes sense because it's being developed by, of course, Treyarch.
How many maps were released with this game on launch?
I don't know, but it's not a good point of comparison because this game also had Ground War and 10s only maps.
Yeah, I'm just curious if 10 is normal. Is it above, below average?
I think 10 is about average. I'm not sure, though. That is actually a good question. But 10 strikes me as about average. Maybe a little less than average. But I'm not sure. It's a good question. So anyways, this is another point besides the mini-map that I was extremely excited to see. No specialists, but a field upgrade-like feature returning. Fuck yes. So, Lokap, did you play BO4?
I did a little bit, yeah.
And then there were specialists. So for those of you who may be listening, specialist was the worst part of Black Ops 4. And what it was where you would pick a specialist and they had access to 2 unique abilities depending on which specialist you picked. So for example, if you picked Battery, that's a bad example. If you picked Prophet, one of your special unique abilities that only Prophet has is called a Seeker Drone. So you press a button and then it throws a Seeker Drone on the floor and then it automatically finds an enemy and then it electrocutes them such that they cannot move at all for like 2 seconds or something. And then his ultimate ability, which took longer to charge, was called the Tempest. And it just gave you like this like energy cannon thing that would shoot slow traveling balls of lightning at enemies. Relatively slow, not super slow. And if it hit an enemy, the enemy would get downed, but they wouldn't be dead, but they would take like half their damage and they just couldn't move. They're just writhing on the floor. And then if enemies are close to that person, they also get chain shocked. So if you turn a corner and 4 people are grouped together, you shoot your Tempest once, you'll shock one guy, it'll shock all 4 of them. And then if you shoot them all on the ground again, they'll all die. Very strong. And it was just another ability that only Prophet had. And there were a bunch of specialists that all did different things. They had 2 unique abilities. The problem with these was that they were extremely strong, as I just went over, and you didn't have to earn them. If you were doing well, you charged these abilities faster, but even if you're doing nothing, you will eventually get the abilities on a timer. So it'll take up to 5 minutes to get your Tempest, but if you're doing really well, you can cut that down to 2 minutes. So you can kind of earn it, but no matter what, you're gonna get it. This is similar to another somewhat popular game you guys may have heard of called Overwatch. Now, in Overwatch, these mechanics kind of make sense, where it is not a Call of fucking Duty game. But in Call of Duty, they didn't make any sense. So Tanner and I both universally fucking hated specialists. They've been in Black Ops games, Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, so I'm very thrilled that they're going to be gone for this game. I couldn't be happier, and this was by no means a foregone conclusion. So, Lokap, how did you feel about specialists in BO4, and how do you feel about them being gone?
Well, I played a lot of Overwatch. You know, I had like 5 accounts in Grandmaster. So, like, I didn't have real strong feelings about it. I mean, I didn't like them or dislike them. I was ambivalent, really. They were just there, I guess. I didn't play Black Ops 4 or care enough to really have a strong opinion. But also, I do like it because it'll be nice to have another Call of Duty that's just straight up run and gun. You know, there's no gimmicks or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel because and again, if you go to my YouTube, I have a 45-minute video on how bad Black Ops 4 was. At the end of the year, the game's life cycle, I did a 45-minute edited, by the way. This is an edited video that I trimmed all the fat out of, and it was 45 minutes long, talking about how bad Black Ops 4 is. And I spent no small amount of time specifically on specialists and how fucking dumb they were. You can be so much better than every other person on the enemy team, and eventually this fucking dickhead gets his battery war machine and just cross-map grenade launchers you, and you're dead. It is so anti-fun, anti-skill, especially because you don't have to earn it. So I'm thrilled beyond all measure that this is gone, and I really hope it stays fucking gone, and that this leak in particular is true. So that is going to be fantastic. Next point. You get one piece from equipment to choose from. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either, because isn't that how it is? You get one equipment?
I think this is just confirming that it's going to be just like most Call of Duties, where you get like a, whatever, stun grenade or attack deploy or a flash grenade or something like that. So good, fine. Score streaks will return.
Yeah, that I am actually really excited about. I like that a lot.
Tell us more.
I always preferred score streak. I thought it was the best addition to Call of Duty because you get rewarded for everything.
Exactly.
Everything you do helps you.
Exactly.
It's a fantastic idea.
Exactly.
And again, it's a small thing that helps people move fast. There's no reason to camp now.
True.
You want to go do things.
True. Preach, brother. Yes. Lokap hits the nail on the head here, in my opinion. So, yeah. There's no score streaks in this game. So if you're playing Domination, for example, and you have 7 kills and you want your VTOL, there is no incentive for you to go Cat B. And it is, in fact, a dumb idea to go Cat B. What you should instead do is camp and not move your character at all, because the only thing that's going to get you the VTOL is a kill. This is why score streaks are great, because score streaks reward kills, because you get score for them, obviously, but it also rewards assists. It also rewards capping objectives, defending objectives, getting tags, and playing the game.
Yeah, shooting down kill streaks.
Shooting down streaks, exactly. Playing the game, advancing your team toward a goal. No matter what the game mode is, score streaks are good. Even in TDM, score streaks are better, because then you get incentivized for assisting, and you're not going to get as pissed if your kill gets stolen. And again, you'll get incentivized for killing streaks in TDM. Otherwise, you wouldn't. So this is all good news. The only caveat is that I hope you don't get as much score for an assist as you do for a kill, like you did in Black Ops 4, because that made it way too easy to get all your score streaks without actually having to risk anything. That was dumb. But score streaks returning does not necessarily mean that. The World War II score streak system was perfect. They would loop, so you don't have to die to get streaks again. Assists gave you score, but they didn't give you full score as if you got the kill. Perfect. Doesn't make it too easy to get your streaks, but you still get rewarded even if your kill gets stolen. And it was score streaks, so you get rewarded for everything I just mentioned. So this is fantastic again. This note, however, is controversial, and I'm curious to see what people think. There is no dead silence in the game at this time. It is not a perk, and the leaker cannot confirm how footstep audio is at the moment. Lokap, your thoughts. No dead silence.
I'm a fan of no dead silence. As the major BR player, hearing footsteps is a huge part of the game. It's major information, very important. And yeah, I think it's great. No dead silence is perfect. Especially, again, this is implications for the BR. No dead silence as well. Hopefully it's not on the ground either, because I don't like it as it is now. Ground loot.
I think it's so dumb that it's a field upgrade in Warzone that you can just pick up. I think it's so stupid. Because yeah, like that's half of the game in Warzone is like listening for shit. So someone can just pop dead silence and come fucking destroy you. Like, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, because everyone else you can hear, but this one guy that found the loot,
he just happened to get lucky. I know.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of people do not like this, and it's mainly for multiplayer reasons. But my thing is, you guys have to put yourselves in any other Call of Duty game besides Modern Warfare. No other game has existed that has footsteps as loud as Modern Warfare 2019 Game of the Year Edition. The footsteps here are obnoxiously loud. And they have never been this loud in any Call of Duty ever. So like in Black Ops 4, I never ran dead silence. I never thought it was necessary. And for the most part, it never gave me away, really, that I know of. And I very seldom would hear people coming and then like know someone's there. It would happen sometimes. So dead silence was good for an enemy to have in a situation where I would have otherwise heard him. But in general, it wasn't as helpful as it is in this game where dead silence is insanely good. So having no dead silence for me is going to be contingent on whether or not, or contingent on how loud footsteps are by default. But I'm apathetic about no dead silence. I don't really care either way, but again, that's going to depend on how loud footsteps are by default. So that's going to be interesting. This is a big one, and here's where Tanner and I are going to disagree. Number one, everything I just said, Tanner agrees with, except the dead silence point. I don't remember what Tanner's opinion on dead silence is. Here's where I can give you Tanner's opinion, and it's going to be different than mine. But first, we're going to go to Lokap. 150 health is going to be the health pool in this game. In Black Ops 4, the health pool was 150 health. In Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, the health pool is 100 health. And if you've played both games, that will be very obvious to you. The time to kill is a lot faster in MW than it is in BO4. So first, we'll start there. What are your thoughts, Lokap?
Well, in multiplayer, I don't have a super strong opinion. It's okay. I don't mind it. But in terms of the BR, it's like they have to scale the guns time to kill because you have 250 health now. You're gonna have 50 extra health, so 300 health.
Assuming armor is the same value.
Assuming, yeah. And then you're gonna have Cold War era guns, which you're not gonna have 5 attachments like you do now because it's a different system. So assume gun recoil is gonna matter. So it's gonna be harder to hit targets. So what time to kill is what? It might balloon out of control.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's one of those weird things. Yeah, it just really depends how they implement it and what changes they make.
For sure. I think it's almost impossible to speculate how it's going to affect the BR because, yeah, who knows how much an armor plate. First of all, if there's armor plates, maybe they're going to go back to bandages. It is a Cold War era game.
It says it has auto heal, which is the same as it is now.
Right, but auto heal here refers to multiplayer also. So
yeah,
they can
that
have
means only multiplayer.
Well, they can have auto heal in the BR and armor plates, or not. Oh, they won't have bandages. That's your point.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah,
I see what you're saying. Okay. I see what you're saying. Interesting. Okay, so even if we assume there's going to be armor, we're not sure how much armor there's going to be. So I think it's hard to speculate on the BR point. But I see what you're saying. If the overall health will scale by plus 50%, including in the BR, then I think your concern is a point well taken, because in Warzone right now, the time to kill is actually pretty fucking slow in Warzone. It's a lot of health. So I don't know if it's too slow. I wouldn't go that far, but it's
kind of in a weird spot. Yeah,
pretty slow. It's getting there. It's approaching too slow. If it's not there already. But so if they increase that any more, I think it would be too slow. But we'll see what they do with the armor and shit. But in multiplayer, I have conflicting opinions on 150 health. On the one hand, and I've talked about this a lot, the more health you have, the more aim matters, because you have to land more shots to kill someone. So if I have to only land 3 shots to kill you, then it's going to matter a lot more who sees the other person first, and it's going to matter a lot less who's the more accurate and who has the better movement. But if I need to hit you 6 times, well, if you surprise me and I'm way better than you, I'm going to hit you 6 times before you hit me 6 times, even if you saw me first, even if you got the first 2 bullets. So the higher the health pool and the slower the time to kill, the more outplay, counterplay potential there is, which means the higher the skill gap goes, the wider the skill gap becomes. And I'm always a big fan of first-person shooter games that reward players for being good at first-person shooting. Simple for me. Here's where it gets complicated. If you have 150 health, knifing, which is a one-hit kill, becomes incredibly fucking annoying and overpowered because someone can run at you for 45 yards while you're shooting them, not die, and then stab you and you're instantly dead. That's very annoying. Realistically, they can be corner camping in a building with a knife. You snap to them right away and start lasering them, but you're not going to have enough time before they knife you. That is very annoying part of having 150 health. Whereas if we mirrored the situation and he only had 100 health, he'd be dead. That is the part of 150 health that is bad. The other part is that it is virtually impossible to balance a sniper rifle. Because if a sniper is not a one-shot kill, don't use a sniper. They're terrible.
Yeah, that's useless. Yeah.
Exactly. But if it is a one-shot kill, then snipers are really fucking strong when the time to kill is forever. So it's very hard to balance snipers,
yep.
And knives are impossible.
That has implications on BR as well. If it's a one-shot in multiplayer, that means it'll just 50% of your HP in BR. It's a lot.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that would. So exactly. So if the total health pool in the BR is increased by 50% also, then exactly, snipers are going to be insane in Warzone. Because I'm going to still have to take an extra 50% of my time to kill you compared to Modern Warfare. But you're going to be able to just shit on me with like 2 sniper shots. So good point there. Good point. So that's why I'm saying it's complicated. Here's my opinion. Make it 125. That's perfect for me. As far as multiplayer goes, Warzone, probably keep the same total health pool as it is now in Modern Warfare. So you don't increase it by 25% for the next BR. But I think you can increase to 125 for multiplayer, and that's just about perfect. It still it still widens that skill gap, but it makes it a lot easier to balance snipers, and it makes knives a lot less annoying, but still it makes sense to use them. I think 125 would be perfect. No COD game has ever done that. But that's what would be the ideal spot for me. Tanner's view on this is he doesn't care. So, of course.
Well, yeah, I agree. It's weird because like in Warzone as it is right now, how often do you get in like a straight up fair 1v1 versus you get shot from who knows where and you don't have an opportunity to shoot back because you're already taking damage? Because the time to kill is so high, like you can't fight back. You have to run and heal.
Yes.
So with even more health, that could be more exacerbating. It'd be just a frustrating experience unless they scale the time to kill with the health.
Yeah. Scale the time to kill. Yeah.
Yeah, it's complicated. It just depends how they implement it.
Exactly. It is complicated. It is very complicated. But that's my opinion on 150 health. Tanner's opinion is he doesn't care either way. He recognizes that they're different, but he's like, I'm fine with 100 health, and I'm also fine with 150 health. And he knows that he knows the drawbacks. He knows the pluses and cons, but he doesn't have a preference for either one. Which I guess is kind of my opinion too. I've said enough. It's complicated.
Yeah.
Next point here. Create a class is unique. It is a hybrid between Pick 10 and Classic, and there is no gunsmith. So I've been trying to figure out what the fuck this means.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Lokap?
I have no idea. Besides, again, this is going to change the BR so much because right now you can slap on 5 attachments to help recoil. And in this one, you probably won't be able to. And it's going to change gunplay significantly.
If you have to do a pick 10, it's like, okay, do I want that perk or do I want, a vertical foregrip? Yeah.
Yeah, do I want, what's it called? Overkill? Do I want an SMG? Do I want more attachments?
True. Or do I want Ghost?
Yeah, oh, yeah, all these things. Yeah, it's very big.
Yeah, it's very big. That's true. And that's assuming there is even going to be a create a class element for the BR.
Assuming, yeah, there's a loadout. Which, if this is gonna be the same system, I would assume.
How was
but
Blackout? I don't know how Blackout was. Do you remember?
There was no loadouts. Yeah, it was just ground loot.
Just ground loot. Okay.
Which I prefer. Well, there was like airdrops, I think, as well. Which had
you couldn't get perks though. Oh no, you could. You had to use them. I remember.
Yeah.
I hate that. By the way, you use a perk and you have it for 2 minutes. Suck my dick. Too much work. I don't like it. But as far as for multiplayer, I don't know what hybrid between pick 10 and classic means. What is a classic create a class system? No wild cards?
I guess,
no.
Yeah, like...
No. What was the...
What is Modern Warfare 4, the original one?
That's
like, I don't
exactly
remember.
what I'm trying to think of. This is why we need Tanner here. This is why we need Tanner here. Fuck me, dude.
Let's see, Modern Warfare.
Yeah, we're going to look into this. I'm going to catch up on chat here. Dirty, welcome. I'm back. Hell yeah, Dirty. Okay, dude. Okay. Two gifty fucking boys. Co-Magi, Sir Drake, Gaming. Welcome to this small but vibrant and extremely humble community. Dirty, also with the 1210 biddies. Damn, son, you're coming in hot, dude. Welcome back indeed. Co-Magi, Sir Drake, welcome to this small but vibrant and extremely humble community. And Dirty, for the 2 gifted subs for the 1210 biddies. I'm honored, humbled, and of course, privileged, sir. This is very kind of you. I appreciate the support as always, brother. It is very much appreciated, very much obliged, and welcome back, sir. I would hate to say you didn't miss much, but you did. But it's fine because it will be available wherever the fuck you listen to podcasts tomorrow. So thank you for the support, dude. I very much appreciate you, Dirty. We are looking up what the fuck a classic gunsmith create a class system even means. Lokap, any updates?
It looks a lot more bare bones than I remember it. It's actually crazy.
Post a link in...
I just watched the video.
Oh, you disgust me. Okay, describe it then.
They had 3 perks, and one of the perks was C4 or flashes.
Whoa.
And the other perks were like, whatever, ghost and steady and whatever. And then the primary weapon, you had 1 attachment.
And a sight or just 1 attachment?
No, just 1 attachment.
Okay.
You had a sight, or you had a suppressor, or you had a grenade launcher, or you had an ACOG.
Got it. Okay.
That's a lot more bare bones than I remember it being. That's crazy.
So this not only doesn't help, but it actually makes me more confused. Because how do you have a hybrid between that and pick 10?
Yeah, I don't know. Pick 5? I don't know.
Exactly. It's like, what? What does that mean? What does that fucking mean? Okay, so I have no idea what a hybrid between pick 10 and classic means. No gunsmith. I do know what that means. There's no gunsmith. Tanner and I told you that there was going to be no gunsmith. So if you're surprised by this, you should have been listening to our podcast sooner, and you should have believed us, because of course there's not going to be a gunsmith. But on the pick 10 issue, if it's somewhat resembles pick 10, I like that, kind of. It allows for some cheesy bullshit, but at the same time, I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of everyone being able to have 5 attachments on all their guns. And I like being able to choose, would I rather have this perk or this extra attachment? I kind of like that. And another thing that is great about the pick 10 system that people do not think about is this. Do you enjoy playing shipment in Modern Warfare in this game? Where everyone spawns with a fucking 2 stun grenades and a frag every single time they spawn? I'm not the biggest fan of it. In a pick 10 system, that doesn't happen. Because one of your 10 points, if you want a fucking frag, you stupid bitch, is going to be on that frag. So you can pick between your frag or a fucking lightweight perk. So there's a lot less equipment spam. And what does less equipment spam mean, Lokap?
Less cancer.
And it means more. More.
Well, it means less claymores, for sure.
And which means more.
More run and gun.
Gunfights. More gunfights. Exactly.
Well, yeah, sure.
More gunfights. And we play first-person shooter games, contrary to Infinity Ward's opinion. We play first-person shooter games to use our characters to shoot at other characters. So the fewer nays and claymores and bouncing betties and C4s there are, the more gunfights there will be. And that does this function, once again, widens the skill gap. That's like the biggest reason I'm a big fan of the pick 10 system. But there are other advantages, and there are some disadvantages for sure. But I hope that it goes back to basically a regular pick 10 system. So,
yeah, I don't even know how I feel about it. And for multiplayer, I think it's great. But again, for
you
the
think
VR,
what's
it's
great?
like the pick 10.
Okay.
I think it's great having that customization. You can do what you want. But again, for the BR, it depends how they implement certain attachments and stuff. Like the mini map, is suppressor necessary? Is ghost necessary?
Yeah.
How's the recoil on guns? Do you need a ton of attachments on them? Like, all that matters.
Yeah. True. Yeah, it's just hard to talk about the BR right now because we have so few details.
Yeah, that's why, yeah.
But those are all interesting considerations for sure. I told you, Pritch, this was going to be a long one, you dumb bitch. So welcome back, by the way. This flies in the face of my prediction. Now, I want to be clear. I don't totally believe it because Activision is still the god here, the big daddy upstairs. But nonetheless, quote, 6v6 is the standard player count, and there is no gunfight mode. So what that means, ostensibly, is that they're going to focus on sixes again. This flies in the face of what I was saying about COD 2020 like a week ago. But I hope it's true. And you guys will know why if you listen to that episode. I forget the name of the episode at this time, but it was very recently. It was last Saturday. So hopefully sixes goes back to being the standard thing. And that would be great, obviously. And the fact that they have all these maps done, and a lot of them, if they're geared towards sixes, it would make sense that sixes is obviously going to be the core of the game. There is no gunfight mode. Have you played gunfight before, Lokap?
Yes, I have the gremlin skin.
Oh, you do? That's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got it, right?
No.
Okay. Kill yourself. In-game. How do you like gunfight?
Not a huge fan. I don't mind if it's gone. I don't hate it, but I don't know. Who cares?
The thing for me, dude, is I really like gunfight in theory. And when I'm playing gunfight, I really like it. But it's nothing I'm ever going to play all day.
Yeah.
Like, I can play domination all day, and I've done it many times. Not in this shit game, of course, because sixes is terrible in this game. But in every other Call of Duty, I could play dom sixes all day, and it's fun. Gunfight, I just can't do it because there's no custom class. You can't grind anything, whatever. But I do really like the mode, but I'm with you. It's not going to be missed. But I also really like the gunfight tournaments, but that's a missed opportunity to go back to the Q&A question. Excellent question. Here's another missed opportunity for you. Just thought of it 4 weeks later. Not enough gunfight tournaments. I have so much fun in the gunfight tournaments in this game because there's actually something on the line. Like, dude, I want that fucking skin. Let's win this game. It's the last round. It's 5v5 in the finals. Let's fucking go. You don't get that. You don't even get that from Warzone Final Circle. The stakes are even higher than that. And it's as even as it can possibly get. Really fun dynamic, but only when there's something on the line. So that's the missed opportunity of IDub Modern Warfare 2019 Game of the Year Edition. Not enough gunfight tournaments. So, but yeah, I'm not terribly sad to
I like
see
the
it
tournaments
gone.
too. It's like the only competitive mode outside of tournaments, really.
Yeah.
And your average player can participate.
Yeah, and everyone, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 6v6, I think I was in the middle of you and Tanner, where you thought 10v10 would be the new standard, right?
For next year?
Yeah.
No. I thought Ground War would be the new
Oh,
War
okay.
and the BR.
Yeah, I was in the middle. Whereas, like, I think 2020 Call of Duty will be the last test of 6v6 to see how well it does in the current market.
With skill-based matchmaking, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Skill-based matchmaking is definitely coming back. And it's going to be interesting to see. Good point you raised. I'm very curious to see how sixes will play on mostly good maps, which is what it's looking to shape up for, and with a standard mini map, and with a pick 10 system, so not everyone has a silencer. If you have all of those things, which is a recipe,
with, no gimmick, no specialist.
And with no specialist, excellent point. So all of that, which is all a recipe for a great, fun 6v6 experience. If you combine all those and then you add the pile of shit that is skill-based matchmaking, how popular will sixes be?
Yeah, that's what I think this COD is going to be the test.
That is such a good point, and it is the test, actually. It actually is the test. Because sixes in this game is polluted by skill-based matchmaking, for sure. But that's not the only... It may or may not be the only reason people don't play sixes, because the issue is compounded by the atrocious map design.
Yeah, the maps are shit, so...
And the lack of a traditional minimap. And even if there was a traditional minimap, most people had to have silencers anyway. So it is very interesting. Wow, that is such a good point. It is very interesting to see how the player base will respond to a great 6v6 experience plus skill-based matchmaking. So I think you're exactly right. It's going to be the last harbinger.
Yep.
Or the final test, the last stand for sixes being at the core of Call of Duty. Because if it doesn't do well with skill-based matchmaking, despite having all these advantages, then their only options are stop doing skill-based matchmaking or stop focusing on sixes. Guess which one they'll choose.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
and I think they will implement 10s as well. Like, maybe not a permanent playlist, but they'll probably throw it in there to test analytics as well.
I don't know if they would have enough maps to support 10s, though.
It depends on the map pool.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to depend on the map pool. But I wouldn't be surprised by it, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised by it at all. Very good. Very interesting. Very fucking interesting. Okay, so let's move on here. There is apparently a mode in multiplayer that takes place on various sections of the new Warzone map. What does that sound like to you, Lokap?
I can't even make sense of that, honestly.
Oh, okay. So,
I don't get it.
Okay, so you know Promenade?
That's my cynical viewpoint, but I was like, there's no way they're gonna do that.
Okay, I'll rephrase. You know how every Ground War map is a subset of the Warzone map?
Yeah.
I think that's what they mean. The only thing that is probably confusing you, which is confusing to me as well, is apparently a mode.
Yeah, it says a mode. Like it's its own playlist.
Which could describe Ground War. Right?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
But why not phrase it that way?
Yeah, just Ground War, yeah.
Like something similar to Ground War is coming back, and it's going to be the same where they recycle content and call it new. Interesting, but do you think Ground War would play substantially differently, assuming players have 150 health? By the way, real quick, can you imagine if there were still specialists and there was Ground War? What a
fucking
shit
disaster, dude.
All these batteries.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You're running around and you get fucking nuked to 10 walls. Like, okay, cool.
By 64 people.
Fucking dog shit, dude.
Oh, that's so fucking funny. I'm so glad specialists aren't coming back, by the way. But anyways, okay. So, thought experiment aside, please God, don't let that fucking alternate dimension happen.
I have no idea how ground would work in a fast-paced, no gimmick shooter.
Yeah, with 150
It's just-
health too.
Yeah,
And the
just
mini
people
map
slamming
working.
into each other. Like I don't get it. Like,
Yeah, dude.
and score streaks. So there's gonna be 1,000 streaks at once. Like,
True. Although with Kill Chain, there's a fuck ton of streaks now too. But yeah, that'll be interesting. I think it would be fine though. I think it would be maybe.
Let's hope no vehicles.
Let's hope no vehicles for sure. I think it's hard to say, honestly, because you're kind of right. Like, Ground War is a game mode independent of how mobile the game is in general. Ground War is the mode where you don't run and gun. So if you have a game that caters to running and gunning, but then you also have 32 enemies, you can't really run and gun well, you know? So how does that play? Is that going to be bad, or is it just going to be slower but still fine?
Or it's a complete shitfest where everyone's just running at each other.
True. It's going to depend partially on the map design too, for sure. But that'll be interesting. And then the last point is the new Warzone map apparently takes place in Russia. Don't care.
Yeah, that doesn't matter at all. Yep. It's weird, again, like they want to make a whole new map instead of... They could do like an alteration of Verdansk where, because this is Cold War...
Like a 60s Verdansk?
Well, just make it... Yeah, exactly. Like maybe prison is under construction. Downtown is half as big as it is now. Ooh. No skyscrapers. Farmland has like 5 houses instead of 30 or whatever, you know? Like all these little things they could do. Because, I mean, what's the...
Would you like that, though? Because I'm gonna take...
With additional changes, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take the... I'm gonna role play as the average Reddit user on Call of Duty. Oh my god, we want new maps! We don't want old recycled maps! Stop giving us really great maps that have been staples in the franchise for the last 12 years that are awesome and I can't keep doing the voice. But they're going to be pissed that there's recycled content.
There's always going to be recycled content.
Which I'm a fan of when it comes to multiplayer. The thing for me, though, is here's why I want a new map. This one fucking sucks.
Right, but that's the thing is, like, they implement the new map, and how long does this Call of Duty have left in its life? 4 months? And then everyone's playing the new one? It might be delayed, dude.
COD 2020 might be delayed, so who knows? Honestly,
that'd also be, I think, a terrible business decision. You miss out on the holiday sales, like that's terrible.
True.
That's so bad.
True. Yeah, so probably 4-5 months max. It'll come out before Christmas for sure.
And they haven't made any changes to the map yet, and you have 5 months left to do anything. Like, why would I play your map? I'm just gonna go on the new map.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then that's pretty much it for the leaks. As always, this info is not fully confirmed as of now. So my overarching opinion on all of these things is 9.9 out of 10. The only thing, if I could get super nitpicky, is that I'd prefer 125 health to 150, but that is not a big deal. Every single other change here, or revelation, return to form would be more appropriate, is amazing to me. So the only bad thing that I know about Call of Duty 2020 is that skill-based matchmaking is going to continue, because that is an edict that is not from Infinity Ward, it is from Activision. So even though it's a new development team, it's Treyarch instead of Infinity Ward, it's still going to be published by Activision, so there's still going to be skill-based matchmaking. But as of now, that is the only bad thing that I know about COD 2020. So all things considered, pretty good, and there's a lot to be excited about here, in my opinion. From a BR player's perspective, what is your overall assessment of all of this?
It's a lot of it's up in the air. There's so many question marks, really. Like the suppressors and Ghost and what's lootable, like Dead Silence and all that.
If loadouts and how.
Loadouts, our buy station's back. Mm-hmm. How's the map look? How's the swimming mechanic going to work? How much water's on the map?
True.
All these things are just, it changes how the game plays. The guns, the attachment system, how much recoil there's going to be. Time to kill. Like, all this is up in the air. Like.
Yeah, I guess we kind of hit all the up in the air things. This is definitely a lot more edifying for the multiplayer enthusiast than it is for the BR enthusiast. For sure.
Multiplayer, yeah, I think it looks solid. Yeah. It's gonna be a fun, action-packed game.
Yeah,
multiplayer-wise,
for sure. So yeah, for those of you who were looking for my assessment on these leaks, there you go. Fucking great, 10 out of 10. And if you followed me on Twitter, by the way, which I've conveniently linked for you in the chat, you would already know this because I tweeted about this when it came out, and I was like, dude, these are great, and I can't wait to talk about them. So there you go. So we were going over the COD 2020 leaks, and one of them says, first of all, 150 health. How do you feel about that?
We already talked about it. I thought it's fine. I thought it's perfect.
Okay, well, you didn't talk to the fucking podcast about it, so give me your opinion.
I think it's good. I think I think it's perfect for a Treyarch game, essentially. I think the way their games play, I think 150, what did you say? You said 125, right?
That was my ideal, yes.
Yeah, I think 150 is okay. Maybe 125 would be more ideal, but I'm perfectly fine with 150, and if that's true, then I'm very happy with that.
Interesting. Yeah, that was about what I remembered you saying.
Yeah,
it's actually a good point about the Treyarch thing too, because when you have like a faster sprint out and like more run and gun, it does make a lot more sense to have a bigger health pool to compensate for that.
Yeah, it's a quicker game overall. The movement's faster, so it makes sense.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Would you prefer 150 to 100 then?
In a Black Ops game, yes.
Okay. And you're not
Absolutely.
Concerned about snipers and knives being OP very much?
I mean, I don't care because I'm still better than them, and I'll shit on them either way. So don't really care.
That's exactly what I told the stream. I was like, he knows, but he just doesn't really care. That's funny. Okay.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
So here's our next question. So one of the leaks, I'm going to read this to you as a quote. I want you to tell me what the fuck this means. Quote: "Create a class is unique. It is a hybrid between Pick 10 and Classic." End quote. What does that mean?
What the fuck? What does that even mean?
Okay, great.
Genuinely, what does that mean?
So Lokap and
hybrid.
Hybrid between Pick 10 and Classic. Create a class.
Pick 15.
So yeah,
I don't know.
What was the create a class system in COD 4?
You picked there wasn't much. It was like the gun. You chose like the gun and if you wanted an optic or not, that's it. And then it was all perks. You got 3 perks and then a lethal and there wasn't, unless I'm remembering something wrong, all you did was choose the optic, I think. God, it's been so long.
Yeah.
No, well, not totally, because you could put like a suppressor on it and stuff. I don't know. There wasn't much customization at all, though.
So you have no idea what this could mean?
Suppressors and scopes.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, of course. Nobody has any idea what that means. Who's that leak from?
This is notes based on the now unavailable exclusive Ace video on the COD 2020 leaks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Maybe what this could... Lokap and I had no idea, but now I'm thinking maybe it could mean... what's it called? Pick 10, but you automatically get 3 perks.
That'd be really good.
That would be interesting, right?
So that would give you a ton of options. You could do primary,
so you could
secondary,
still do,
fully kitted primary.
Yeah. So you could still do wild card to have 2 perk 1s, but you're always going to have 1 perk 2 and 1 perk 3 minimum. Maybe.
That would be good, actually.
That's my only theory on what hybrid between Pick 10 and Classic means. Because the only difference between Classic and Pick 10 is that Classic forces you to have 3 perks, Pick 10 doesn't.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about like Pick 10 and whatnot was how there was attachments that would take up like 2 slots and things like that. You know, I would rather it just be like everything counts as 1.
Instead of the wild cards, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.